you know, like the Netflix and the constant scrolling, or the food that, you know, contaminates our bodies, or the fluoride, or whatever it is. And we're also told, you know, we're not a soul and we're not a, you know, divine being. So, you know, I've been studying the Chinese herbal medicine and the Ayurveda, and I really love the 5 elements theories of just, you know, that we are nature. And, you know, when we're coming back into healing, we're really coming back into the connection of the whole, which is the fact that we are nature and we are Mama Nature, you know. And so, you know, in Chinese herbal medicine, they look at where we hold emotions in the organs. And so, like, we hold grief in the lungs and we hold fear in the kidneys. And so our organs, when we're listening to our body, I love what you're saying, you know, it is the most intelligent technology on the planet. And if we are able to get rid of all of those distractions and come into the present with our breath and with our movement, and we can connect mind and body, and we can really then listen to the intelligence of the body, and that sometimes is not comfortable, and we don't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with the trauma or whatever it is, but if we can learn really, you know, the tools to be able to, okay, objectively step back from it, so that we can look at that, like, what is that pain that's coming up? What am I, okay, so how do I observe that? And then what is it teaching me? And then also, how do I transmute that? You know, for me personally as a woman, you know, this idea of meditation is a seated, you know, sedentary thing where we just sit and, you know, I love meditation, I do a lot, but I also find that moving is a meditation. Anything that puts me in a flow state, looking at the stars, being present is medicine, and being in nature is medicine to me. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And we've all experienced things like that. Like, we all have experience of those one moments, those flow moments, you know, the acknowledgement that things happen for a reason, or, you know, like that we meet someone that we've never met but seem to have known for centuries, you know. So there's all these things that just are never talked about but are happening to every single person on the planet. Every single being gets this, you know, they feel these experiences. I was just thinking earlier about the whole Murdoch media, you know, fear-based kind of mentality that we're immersed in. And it just made me think that we're so still hunter-gatherers. We're still, you know, middle of the food chain kind of mentality. But we're kind of stuck between an ape and an angel. We have the capacity to actually traverse all those things. My personal belief is that as a human being, we are the only consciousness that is able to look back and look forward and look at, you know, this created that, and oh my goodness, look all the connections, and, you know, sort of have perspective on things. Like, animals generally are like in the now, right here, and reacting to what's going on. We have the ability to actually, like, think about things, perceive things, and put them together and analyse and recognise. And you think that sooner or later we're going to work it out. But if we're not connected to this technology, this can only do so much. And it's limited, like I call it the minefield, because it's full of bombs that you might just trip over any minute. And they're not even ours. Most of these thoughts are like just implanted from before we were even consciously making choices. One of my absolute bugbears is people go, oh, it was their choice to do that. You know, like as a doctor particularly, we were kind of taught to victim blame. You know, people choose to take drugs, they choose to smoke. It's their fault, it's their responsibility. But most of the time people are just trying to survive the next 10 minutes. You know, it's, you know, smoking can be a way of trying to survive, of, you know, like stating that I'm still here and I'm still trying. Just getting up in the morning sometimes is amazing, that we just get up. You know, we don't necessarily acknowledge that people are actually trying to get through what is a really, really tricky, you know, situation at the moment on the planet. So this is the thing that really worked for me. So this is why I'm trying to share it with as many people as I possibly can. And it's just like I would love to teach this in schools. I think emotional intelligence it's been shown to be the number one predictor of health, success, relationships, relationship to the earth, everything. All our connections are based on our connection to ourselves. So our primary relationship, the ability to have that chat with ourselves. So you don't necessarily go about trying to change what's going on in here, but you change your relationship to it. You're not trying to get rid of anything. You're really just totally acknowledging it. And there's something that happens that then transmutes things. Change happens. Not trying to make it happen is actually the key. So let's just have a little go, shall we? I'm challenged. There you go. All right. So just coming into our beings in our bodies, this incredible, amazing intelligence that you've got here, ready and waiting at all times. I find that easy to do with my eyes closed, but you're welcome to close them or keep them open, whatever feels right for you. Just acknowledging where we are in the room. Acknowledging the space around us. Acknowledging the people near us. Just the feeling of the air on our skin. The feeling of the clothes on our body. The chair underneath. The floor underneath our feet and underneath the chair. Just kind of letting yourself drop into that. Letting the chair take your weight. Even maybe acknowledging where we are right now on the planet. Feeling the earth underneath the building. And our connection to that, our energetic connection, that magnetic resonance that comes from the earth that we're connected to. That comes from the very core of the earth, that core magnetic pulse. So just bringing our awareness to that, bringing our minds and our conscious awareness right down into the very core of the earth. Where we are on the planet right now. It's your birthright. Since you were here, you'll always be connected to. So linking those connections like little hooks right down to the very core. And just acknowledging that the oxygen that she's making for us to breathe. The air as it comes into our lungs. The movement of the body as we receive it. Acknowledging in the body maybe some places where it's not feeling comfortable to breathe. Where there may be tightness or discomfort. Acknowledging them as we move right down to the abdomen. Just bringing that crystalline awareness right down into the abdomen, right down into the pelvis. And just mapping what's there. Is there an area of particular notice? A place that's really dominating your attention? Right down into the pelvis, into the legs and the feet. So just being aware of any limitations in that, any places where it's actually, don't really want to go there. Just aware of how you feel about having those sensations there. Oh, I don't like it, I like it. I want to fix it, I want it to change, I want to run away from it. And what does that feel like? What does that sensation feel like? I really, really don't like this. I want to get away from here, I want to run away from this room. Or it's okay, I can just be here. And if there's anywhere in particular that's really calling you, just breathing into that. Breathing around it, sitting at the edges of it. Nothing to do here, nothing to fix or change, just acknowledging what that feels like. Is it tight? Is it jiggling? Is it watery? Is it hard, just hard to breathe? It might even have a shape, colour, a temperature. So really getting a feel of walking around it with the breath, bringing the breath around those places, even underneath those places. Acknowledging the part of you that's doing that, that is effectively holding the space for whatever is. And what does it want to do? What does it want for you? And if there's more than one sensation, just moving between them. Just acknowledging that you can actually have more than one sensation, more than one emotion. You can hold more than one experience. Just breathing around, sitting next to, sitting between. Dropping into and around and underneath. Maybe even listening to what it has to say. Maybe there's something that it would like to share, a memory, a thought, a feeling. What does that part need more than anything in the world? What does it need? Who can give it to that part of you right now? Right here, right now. Spend as much time as you like, just sitting with what is, acknowledging deeply, really strengthening that primary relationship with self, that first conversation of many with your deeper being. What's really important for me? What is it that I really need? What do these parts of me need? And what are my passions, my inspirations, my joy? What is it going to mean in the end? What's really important? When on my deathbed, I look back at, this is what's really important. That connection with self, that realization of who we are or what we are. Our connection with others that stem from that. And our connection with the earth. And even maybe our spirit and their realms, deeper levels of ourselves. Our guides, our friends, our family. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Jackie. That was very good. Does anybody want to share any experiences they had with that or ask Jackie any questions? All finished? Okay. Thank you so much.
You've got all the answers already. They're all in here.
Thank you very much for coming. That concludes the health and healing. And I wish you all the best in wherever you go and whatever you do.